Today I'm taking with the Waykar air scrubber. Okay, so that is a nice large unit. It does come with instructions, and we've got a nice long cable on here, which is excellent, so we don't have to go grab an extension cord if we're just throwing this into a room. Okay, so this I appreciate. This actually has a cover for our air filter. So that means if we're just throwing this thing in storage or something like that, we don't have to worry about anything collecting on the air filter and clogging that up before we even take that out to the site. So that's nice. This is covered in plastic, so it's not going to do anything for us right now. And that is just a friction fit. That's nice, so the handle actually has a spring on it. Don't have to worry about that thing falling open on us. But we just got some buckles all the way around. So a total of 6 buckles, and then this guy pops right off. So it looks like we have multiple stages of filtration. This is a fancy filter. You can see all those little beads in there. This is a full-on charcoal filter. That's good because that's going to help to reduce smells. So this is our pre-filter. This is basically the same style you'll be using for your HVAC system. This is the most important one. You keep this one well changed. That's going to help to protect all of the other filters. We can see on the inside, both filters are just going to sit underneath those clamps. Now they had the wire mesh facing that direction, but I'm going to put it this way because the airflow should be pushing this direction. So the wire is designed to hold all that filter material and prevent it from blowing in. And we got our carbon filter. So you got 2 filters right here on the cover. Then we got a nice thick boy filter on the inside. So this does have a foam seal all the way around the outside to make sure that we got a good seal. And that appears to be a lot of very finely pleated material. So here's where we get to the good stuff. You can see that giant impeller behind there. That is going to help to push a ton of air. That's the most important thing with an air scrubber. It needs to be able to recycle that air that's inside that room. It needs to be able to pull all the air in, push clean air out. So if you want to do that quickly, you need a nice big impeller. Oh, and we got a little safety switch right here to make sure that we actually got our filter installed. Lots of buckles, which is good because there is a seal on the door as well. We want to make sure that that is able to make a good seal so we don't have any leaks going by the filters. So here's our exhaust, and we got another view of that squirrel cage. So dirty air goes in here, clean air comes out here. Then on the back we just got some information. You can see it's designed for 120 volts. It is rated for 80 watts, and it can push out 385 to 550 cubic feet per minute. Can't see we got feet on here, so we can lay the thing down on its back if we want to. And we got rubber feet on the bottom, so we can stand it up if we want to do that. So here on the top we've got our interface. It does appear this is going to be variable speed. So if we want to push the most air, we can turn that up to max. Or if we want it to be a little bit more quiet, a little bit more pleasant in the room, then we can turn that down. And this actually has an hour meter on it. So we're going to know how long this thing has been in service and running. So that's very nice. It does appear that it has a breaker on it, so we can reset that right there. And we got a tamper-proof outlet on here. So if we want to, we could basically just use this thing as an extension cord that happens to also be an air scrubber. So very nice that they included that. So when I plug this in, the hour meter does light up. So now we just crank that knob up. So I can barely feel the air there, but I can definitely feel it pushing out the outside. Yeah. And my duster right here. You can see we are pushing some air. Now if I turn this down, that is unrealistically quiet. That is strangely quiet. I mean, it's still running though. How about that? You can tell. She's still running. But if you want to work in a room and you want to make sure you're not making too much noise, that's going to be the best way to do it that I've ever found. That thing is super quiet. Even at max, that really is not bad. I'm used to things like this where I have to wear ear protection by them. But this is no problem at all. So yeah, I mean, 3 layers of filtration, really nice heavy duty case. It's actually not that heavy. Ugh, can't quite pick it up with one hand. But it's not bad at all. Because we got the outlets in the top, you can daisy chain these. It says you can daisy chain up to 3 of them. So let's go ahead and shut that guy off. Just spin the knob off. Throw this cover back on. And I will take that guy to work. So in this room we've got our dust collector. So it's actually going to be doing the same thing that does, except that this also needs to be cleaned out every once in a while. And when that happens, it tends to be a fairly dirty job. Woo. For this, we need to wear a mask and a shield. What the idea is we just need to knock all this blood off of these filters so it comes back in the tank. When we do this, we typically use an air gun, and this dust just kind of goes all over the place. It fills up this room with dust. Now, the funny thing about it, this guy is currently running. I can't hear it just because of the ambient noise in the room right now. Now, I do not expect this to pick up all the dust that's coming toward it.
that would basically require a jet engine. What I do expect it to do is to kind of filter out the air, so all the airborne particles, this is going to pull that stuff up.
I don't know if you can really see that on camera, but there is quite a bit of dust in the air. So I'm just going to let this guy run, and we will see how good of a job that does. It is worth keeping in mind, this is a fairly large room, so I'm definitely putting it to a test. But we'll see what we get. I can tell you right now, it is actually not looking that bad in here. If I did not have this thing in here, this would be just a big cloud right now. So far I'm impressed, but let's see how long it takes before we can really see a difference. I mean, I just want to say right now, I'm pretty impressed with it. I mean, this dust is heavier than the air, so naturally it's going to fall, but not all of it. There are very fine particles that are just going to float around. This has picked up a ton of it already. It has not taken that long at all. I used to have to come back in a couple hours before I could be in even this clear of an area. Like, I feel like I could take my mask off right now and be perfectly fine. I'm not going to take my chances, but yeah, it does appear to be much clearer than I would expect. So you can get kind of an idea how much dust that thing collected in that short period of time. That's pretty impressive. I mean, that's one run. That's all stuff that I'm not breathing in right now. So yeah, if you're working in a very dusty environment, I mean, I would say still wear a mask, but this can really help to get you into a more clean environment much quicker. You also notice they got these rings on the outside, so there's one here, and there's another one here on this side. So this is going to be for running ducting, so essentially you get a great big hose that you would attach to it, probably with a worm gear clamp, and then you can run that up to wherever you need to. So you don't even really have to have this unit wherever you're going to be working. You can have your intake here. You can run your vent right out of the window or whatever you want. Well, you don't have to worry about, if you're going to be pulling in really nasty stuff like asbestos, of having that even having the chance of going back into your house. You just have that vent right outside. So overall, I'm happy with that unit.